Taemin stood outside the briefing room and took a deep breath. This was supposed to be simple. The Galactic Federation wanted someone to explain human social behavior to their observers. He had a degree in sociology. He spoke 3 languages. How hard could it be? He pushed open the door and immediately knew he had made a terrible mistake. In the center of the white room stood Observer Crix, a crystalline being that looked like a mantis made of living glass. 7 eyes rotated on its triangular head, all focused on 2 humans sitting uncomfortably in chairs. One of them was Jiwoo, Taemin's best friend since childhood. The other was the building janitor, a middle-aged man who looked deeply confused about why he was there. Crix held some kind of scanning device between the 2 humans. The device beeped and flashed with lights. "Liaison Officer Park Taemin," Crix said in a voice like wind chimes. "I am attempting to measure the friendship particles between these 2 specimens. However, my equipment detects nothing. Are they defective?" "Defective?" the janitor said, standing up. "I'm going back to work. Wait," Taemin said, but the man was already gone. He turned to Crix. "There are no friendship particles. Friendship is not a physical thing." Jiwoo waved from his chair. "Hey, Taemin, your alien friend has been scanning me for 20 minutes. This is weird, even for you." Crix's eyes swiveled toward Jiwoo. "You may leave, Specimen B. The experiment has failed." "Specimen B?" Jiwoo laughed. "I like this guy. Can I stay?" "No," Taemin said firmly. "Jiwoo, please leave." Fine. But I'm bringing lunch later. You're going to need it." Jiwoo left, still grinning. Taemin sat down across from Crix. "Let me explain. Friendship is an emotional bond between people. It cannot be measured with machines." Crix tilted its head. "Emotional bond. Please define with precision." "Well, friends are people who like spending time together. They trust each other. They help each other when there are problems." "So friendship is a resource exchange system," Crix said. Its crystalline body glowed slightly. "Friend A provides assistance to friend B, expecting future assistance in return. This is logical. No, that is not. I mean, yes, friends help each other, but it is not about expecting something back. People are friends because they enjoy it." Crix was silent for a moment. Then it said, "This makes no sense. Among Valorians, we form professional alliances based on mutual benefit and efficiency. We calculate the value of each relationship. Your system appears to have no calculation at all." "Exactly," Taemin said. "Friendship is not about calculation. It is about connection." "Connection," Crix repeated, still not precise. "How do humans know when friendship has been established?" Taemin opened his mouth, then closed it. "How did you know when someone became your friend?" "You just know. You feel it." "You feel it," Crix said slowly. "This is the least helpful explanation I have ever received. I will need to develop a mathematical model." Before Taemin could respond, the door burst open. Jiwoo walked in carrying pizza boxes and bottles of beer. "I brought food," Jiwoo announced. "I figured you would be stuck here for hours." Crix's eyes all focused on the pizza boxes. "What is this?" "Pizza," Jiwoo said, opening a box. The smell of cheese and pepperoni filled the room. "Want some?" "Valorians do not consume solid matter in this manner," Crix said. "But I observe you are sharing food resources. Is this part of the friendship protocol?" "Protocol?" Jiwoo looked at Taemin. "What is it talking about?" "It thinks friendship follows rules," Taemin said, taking a slice of pizza. "I have been trying to explain that it does not." Jiwoo sat down and opened a beer. "Friendship is easy. You hang out with people you like. You eat together. You talk about stupid things. Sometimes you help each other. That is it." Crix's body glowed brighter. "So the food sharing is a bonding ritual, and the consumption of fermented beverages reduces inhibitions, allowing for more honest communication. This is a pre-combat strategy used by warriors." "What? No," Taemin said. "We are not preparing for combat. We are just eating. On Valoria, shared consumption only occurs before battle," Crix said, "to ensure warriors are at peak efficiency." "Are you certain you are not about to fight?" Jiwoo laughed so hard he nearly choked on his pizza. "I like this alien." "It's funny," Taemin rubbed his temples. "Crix, humans eat together all the time. It is a social activity. It has nothing to do with fighting. Social activity for what purpose? For enjoyment. For spending time together. For strengthening bonds between people." "This is extremely inefficient," Crix said. "Valorians can strengthen professional bonds through data exchange." It takes 3 seconds. Your method takes at least 30 minutes. Yeah, but our way is more fun, Jiwoo said. He raised his beer bottle toward Crix. To friendship. Crix stared at the bottle. What am I supposed to do with this gesture? Never mind, Taemin said quietly. For the next hour, Crix watched them eat and talk. It recorded everything. It asked strange questions. It seemed particularly interested in how much they laughed and why. Later, after Jiwoo left, Crix said, I have analyzed today's data. I will now create a predictive model for human friendship formation. It will have 47 variables including time spent together, frequency of laughter, and food-sharing events. I do not think that will work, Taemin said. We will test it, Crix said. I will find 2 humans who have never met and calculate their friendship compatibility. The next day, Crix brought in Hana and Minho. Hana was Taemin's colleague, sharp and professional. Minho was his younger brother, a businessman who talked too much. They had never met before. Crix had them fill out long questionnaires. It measured their responses and calculated for 20 minutes. Finally, it announced, based on my analysis, you have 94% friendship compatibility. You should be friends immediately. Hana looked at Minho. Minho looked at Hana. I do not like him, Hana said. The feeling is mutual, Minho said. Crix's body flickered. All 7 eyes blinked in sequence. It was the Valorian equivalent of complete confusion. This is impossible, Crix said. My calculations are never wrong. You have compatible interests, similar communication styles, and matching humor patterns. You should be friends. But we are not, Hana said, standing up. Can I leave now? After they left, Crix stood very still for a long time. Finally, it turned to Taemin. I must conclude that human friendship is a chaotic system with no governing principles, Crix said. It cannot be predicted or controlled. This is deeply disturbing. Welcome to being human, Taemin said. Crix was quiet for another moment. Then it said, I wish to study romantic pair bonding next. That must be more logical than friendship. Humans do not choose romantic partners randomly. There must be clear selection criteria. Taemin felt his stomach drop. The look of horror on his face was apparently very clear, because Crix tilted its head in what might have been curiosity. Your expression suggests this topic will be even more complicated, Crix said. Excellent. I will prepare my equipment. We begin tomorrow. Taemin put his head in his hands. This was going to be a disaster. The coffee shop was a terrible idea. Taemin knew this the moment they walked in. The place was crowded, noisy, and full of couples. Crix's crystalline body caught the light and made rainbow patterns on the walls. Everyone stared. This is a natural human environment? Crix asked, its 7 eyes scanning the room. It seems inefficient. The noise level makes communication difficult. Yes, but humans like it, Taemin said, guiding Crix to a table in the corner. People come here to relax and socialize. They sat down. A waiter approached, stared at Crix for 5 seconds, then carefully took their order without comment. Taemin was impressed by his professionalism. Now, Crix said, pulling out a holographic notepad. Please explain romantic pair bonding. I have prepared questions. Taemin sipped his coffee. Okay, romance, where do I start? When 2 people are attracted to each other, they might start dating. They spend time together to see if they are compatible. Attracted. Define attraction. It is when you like someone. You want to be near them. You think about them often. Your heart beats faster when you see them. Crix typed rapidly on its holographic notepad. Increased heart rate suggests stress response. Obsessive thinking is a cognitive malfunction. Desire for proximity could indicate dependency issues. I must conclude that human romantic attraction is a temporary neurochemical malfunction. It is not a malfunction, Taemin said. It is love. Love, Crix repeated. Another imprecise term. Please provide measurable criteria. Taemin tried to think. How did you explain love? Poets had been trying for thousands of years. He did not think he could do better than them. Love is when you care deeply about someone, he said slowly. When their happiness matters to you as much as your own. When you want to support them and be with them. This sounds like friendship with extra steps, Crix said. Well, yes, but also no. Romantic love includes physical attraction and— Stop, Crix said, holding up one crystalline limb. I wish to observe humans in courtship behavior. This will provide better data than your explanations. Before Taemin could stop it, Crix turned all 7 eyes toward the table next to them. A young couple sat there holding hands and talking quietly. "Observe," Crix said loudly. "The male and female specimens are in close proximity. Physical contact has been initiated. Pupils are dilated. Speech patterns show increased tonal variation. This is clearly a mating ritual in progress." The couple stared at Crix. Then at Taimin. "I am so sorry," Taimin said quickly. "Please ignore us." "Why are they upset?" Crix asked. "I am merely collecting observational data." "You cannot narrate people's dates," Taimin hissed. "It is rude." The couple had moved to a different table far away. The waiter appeared and politely suggested that maybe they should leave. Taimin agreed immediately. They ended up in a park. It was quieter, safer. Taimin hoped there would be no more incidents. He tried again to explain romance. He talked about poetry and music. He mentioned famous love stories. He described the feeling of falling in love. Crix listened and took notes, but its body language suggested deep confusion. "So humans create art about this malfunction?" Crix asked. "It is not a malfunction," Taimin said for the 10th time. "But you described it as irrational, unpredictable, and sometimes painful. These are negative attributes." "Yes, but it is also wonderful. Love makes people happy. It gives life meaning." "Valorians find meaning through logic and efficiency," Crix said. "We do not require neurochemical malfunctions." Taimin was about to respond when his phone rang. It was Jiwoo. "Hey, where are you?" Jiwoo said. "I am at the park with Yuna. Want to meet up?" "Who is Yuna?" Taimin asked. "My girlfriend. I met her last month." "Come on, I want you to meet her." Before Taimin could say no, Jiwoo hung up. 5 minutes later, he appeared with a cheerful woman who had bright eyes and a warm smile. "This is Yuna," Jiwoo said, his face lighting up as he looked at her. "Yuna, this is Taimin, my best friend. And this is Crix, a Valorian observer." Yuna shook Taimin's hand, then carefully approached Crix. "Nice to meet you. Jiwoo told me about you. You are studying humans?" "Yes," Crix said. "Currently studying romantic pair bonding." "You and Jiwoo are in a romantic relationship?" "Yes," Yuna said, smiling. "We have been dating for a month." Crix's eyes brightened. "Excellent. Please demonstrate a courtship ritual so I can observe." There was an awkward silence. "Demonstrate?" Jiwoo said. "Like what?" "In my research, I learned that humans perform proposal rituals when selecting permanent mates." "Please demonstrate this." Jiwoo's face went pale. "A proposal? We have only been dating for a month." "Is that insufficient time?" Crix asked. "How long is the standard courtship period?" "It varies," Taimin said quickly. "Some people date for years before getting married. Some get married quickly. There is no standard." Yuna was looking at Jiwoo with an odd expression. Jiwoo was sweating. "But you care about this person?" Crix asked Jiwoo. "You wish to maintain the pair bond?" "Yes, of course," Jiwoo said. "Then why not formalize the arrangement now?" "Waiting serves no logical purpose," Yuna laughed suddenly. "I like this alien." "It is very direct." "Yuna!" Jiwoo said, looking panicked. "I am not proposing because an alien told me to." "I know," Yuna said, still smiling. "But it is kind of romantic in a weird way, is it?" Jiwoo said. "Because I am very confused right now." Crix watched them carefully. The male appears distressed. The female appears amused. "I do not understand this interaction at all." "Welcome to romance," Taimin said. They talked for another hour. Crix asked many questions. Some of them were reasonable. Many were not. Jiwoo and Yuna answered patiently, though they both looked confused by the end. Later, after Jiwoo and Yuna left, Crix turned to Taimin. "I have concluded that romantic pair bonding is even more chaotic than friendship," Crix said. "Humans select partners based on feelings, not logic. They perform elaborate rituals with no standard protocol. They experience emotional distress that they describe as pleasant. This is deeply illogical." "But it works for us," Taimin said. "Does it?" Crix asked. "What is the success rate of human romantic relationships?" Taimin thought about divorce rates. He decided not to mention them. Before he could answer, there was a flash of light. Ambassador Trill appeared, a being made of flowing energy and harmonic sound. It was a symphon, a telepathic species. Trill made a sound like a bell that had been dropped. "Please make it stop." "Ambassador Trill," Taimin said. "What is wrong?" "I accidentally connected with a human teenager," Trill said, its voice pained. "They are experiencing their first romantic breakup." The emotional chaos is unbearable. I have a migraine. Do humans always feel this strongly? Often yes, Taman said. Trill shuddered. The Galactic Council is very concerned. They believe humans may be emotionally unstable. They are worried about your membership in the Federation. Taman felt his stomach drop. This was worse than he thought. I will file my report, Crick said cheerfully. Next, I wish to study human family dynamics. That should be simpler than romantic relationships. Taman and Trill both looked at Crix. Then they looked at each other. Trill made a sound like breaking glass. It was the symphon equivalent of a groan. Things were about to get much worse. Taman stood outside his childhood home and felt a sense of doom. His mother had insisted on inviting Crix to dinner. He had tried to explain why this was a bad idea. She had not listened. It will be fine, his mother had said on the phone. I want to meet your alien friend. I will cook a nice meal. It is not my friend, Taman had said. It is a Valorian observer studying human behavior, and it does not eat food. Then it can watch us eat. I already invited your brother and grandmother. See you at 6. Now it was 6. Taman opened the door. The house smelled amazing. His mother had cooked enough food for 20 people. Taman, his mother called from the kitchen. Bring your friend in. Crix entered the house, its crystalline body reflecting the warm lights. It looked around with all 7 eyes. This is a human family dwelling, Crix said. I detect multiple life signs. How many humans live here? 5, Taman said. My parents, my brother, my grandmother, and my aunt. Why do so many humans share one dwelling? This seems inefficient. It is how families work. People live together. Taman's mother emerged from the kitchen, wiping her hands on her apron. She looked at Crix with interest and no fear whatsoever. Hello. You must be Crix. I am Taman's mother. Please sit down. Dinner is almost ready. I do not require sustenance, Crix said. I will observe the meal ritual. Nonsense, Taman's mother said. Everyone eats at my table. I will make you a plate anyway. Minho arrived, talking loudly on his phone. He hung up when he saw Crix. Whoa, the alien is here. This is so cool. Can I take a picture? No, Taman said. Why not? My followers would love this. Because it is rude. Crix is not a tourist attraction. Actually, I would not mind, Crix said. Visual documentation could be useful for my research. Minho immediately started taking photos. Taman rubbed his temples. This dinner was already going badly. They sat down at the table. The food kept coming. Rice, soup, kimchi, grilled meat, vegetables, side dishes. Taman's mother brought out plate after plate. This is excessive food for 4 humans, Crix observed. Are you preparing for long-term storage? No, this is normal, Taman said. My mother always cooks too much. It is not too much, his mother said, sitting down. You need to eat more. You are too thin. I am a healthy weight. Eat more rice, his mother said, adding more to his bowl without waiting for an answer. Crix's eyes focused on this interaction. Fascinating. The maternal unit is engaging in forced feeding. This is a dominance behavior. It is not dominance, Taman said. She is just being a mother. But she is compelling you to consume more nutrients than you requested. In Valorian terms, this is a clear power move, Minho laughed. The alien is right. Mom is totally dominating us with food. Minho, eat your vegetables, their mother said, pointing at his plate. Minho immediately ate his vegetables. Crix's body glowed brighter. The male offspring immediately obeyed. This confirms my hypothesis. Korean mothers practice nutritional warfare. Taman was about to argue when his grandmother arrived. She was a small woman with white hair and a big smile. She looked at Crix and her eyes lit up. Agu, what a beautiful creature, she said in Korean. She walked right up to Crix and patted one of its crystalline limbs. Crix froze. All 7 eyes stared at the small human touching it. Grandmother, this is Crix, Taman said. Crix, this is my grandmother. She does not speak English. His grandmother said something in rapid Korean. Taman translated. She says you are very pretty and she wants to teach you how to make kimchi. Kimchi? Crix said. The fermented vegetable product? Yes, I cannot eat kimchi. I do not have a digestive system compatible with solid matter. Taman translated. His grandmother waved her hand dismissively and said something else. She says that does not matter. Making kimchi is about tradition and love, not eating. Crix tilted its head. Love, this term keeps appearing in human contexts. To find love in this situation. She means caring, Taman said. Making kimchi is how she shows she cares about family. His grandmother had already gone to the kitchen. She came back with vegetables and spices. She gestured for Crix to follow her. To Taemin's complete shock, Crix stood up and went with her. For the next hour, Taemin watched through the kitchen door as his grandmother taught Crix how to prepare cabbage. She spoke entirely in Korean. Crix did not understand a word. Somehow they communicated anyway. His grandmother showed Crix how to salt the vegetables, how to mix the spices. She smiled and nodded encouragement. Crix's crystalline body seemed to glow with something that might have been contentment. "This is weird," Minho said, watching from the table. "Very weird," Taemin agreed. The doorbell rang. Taemin's mother answered it. His aunt, 2 uncles, and 4 cousins poured into the house. No one had mentioned they were coming. "Surprise," his aunt said. "We heard about the alien visitor. We had to meet it." The house erupted into chaos. People talked over each other. Children ran around. Someone turned on music. His mother brought out more food. His aunt started asking Taemin when he was getting married. His uncle wanted to discuss politics. Crix emerged from the kitchen, covered in cabbage leaves. It stood in the middle of the chaos, all 7 eyes spinning rapidly. "What is happening?" it asked Taemin. "This is my extended family," Taemin said. "They do this sometimes." "Do what?" "Show up without warning. Talk loudly. Give unsolicited advice. It is a family thing." His aunt noticed Crix and immediately approached. "Oh my, you are so interesting looking. Are you male or female? Do you have children? What do you do for work?" Crix looked at Taemin. Help, but there was no escape. For the next 2 hours, Crix was passed around the family. Everyone wanted to talk to it. Ask questions. Tell stories. Share food. By the end, Crix sat in a corner processing overload. Finally, everyone left. The house was quiet again. Taemin sat next to Crix. "Are you okay?" he asked. "I do not know," Crix said slowly. "Human family structures are chaos. There is no clear hierarchy. Everyone talks at once. Personal boundaries are not respected. And yet your grandmother taught me to make kimchi. And your mother fed me even though I cannot eat. And your entire family welcomed me without fear. I felt included," Taemin smiled. "That is what family is." "It is terrifying," Crix said. "Yes," Taemin agreed. "But also wonderful." Crix stood up. "I must file my report. The Galactic Council needs to know that human family units operate on organized chaos theory. They will be deeply disturbed. What will you study next?" Taemin asked, though he was afraid of the answer. "Professional relationships," Crix said. "Surely human workplace behavior is more logical than family dynamics." Taemin thought about office politics, pointless meetings, and workplace drama. He decided not to say anything. Crix would find out soon enough. Taemin arrived at the office to find Crix already there. It had an office now. A desk, a nameplate, a laminated badge hanging around its crystalline neck. "When did this happen?" Taemin asked. "Dr. Sung decided I should have a permanent workspace," Crix said. "She said I am here often enough that I might as well have an office." "I believe this is human sarcasm." "It probably is," Taemin agreed. Crix looked around the busy office. "Today I will study human professional relationships. Please explain your workplace hierarchy." Taemin pulled up the organization chart on his computer. "See, this shows who reports to whom. Dr. Sung is at the top. Then there are department heads. Then team leaders. Then regular staff. This is clear and logical," Crix said. "Finally, a human system that makes sense." "Well, yes, but the real power structure is different." Crix's eyes focused sharply. "Explain." "The org chart shows official positions. But actual influence depends on many things: experience, relationships, who knows what. Some people have more power than their position suggests. So the hierarchy is false? Not false, just incomplete." Crix was silent for a moment. Then it said, "This is worse than family dynamics." Hana appeared at Taemin's desk carrying a coffee and a stack of papers. "Morning meeting in 5 minutes," she said. "Try not to be late this time." "I can attend?" Crix asked. "I wish to observe human workplace meetings," Hana shrugged. "Sure, it will be boring, but you can come." The meeting room was cold and had uncomfortable chairs. 10 people sat around a long table. Dr. Sung stood at the front looking tired and irritated. "Let us begin," Dr. Sung said. "First item, quarterly reports." "Who wants to go first?" No one volunteered. There was awkward silence. Finally, someone raised their hand. For the next hour, people presented reports. They used many slides. They said things like synergy and leveraging opportunities and thinking outside the box. Crix watched intently, its eyes moving between speakers. Halfway through, Crix raised a crystalline limb. Yes? Dr. Sung said, looking surprised. I have a question, Crix said. I have calculated that 73% of the information presented in this meeting could be communicated via electronic message in 5 minutes. Why do you gather physically for this inefficient process? The room went very quiet. That is a fair question, Dr. Sung said slowly. But meetings serve other purposes. Team building, face-to-face communication, ensuring everyone is aligned. But you are not aligned, Crix said. I observed 3 people checking their phones. 2 people doodling on paper. 1 person appears to be asleep with their eyes open. The engagement level is very low. Hana coughed to hide a laugh. Taemin wanted to disappear. Nevertheless, Dr. Sung said coldly, this is how we do things. Any other questions? No one spoke. The meeting continued. When it finally ended, everyone left quickly. Crix remained, looking confused. Did I say something wrong? It asked Taemin. You were not wrong, Taemin said. But you are not supposed to point out that meetings are inefficient. Even though everyone knows it, why not? Because that is how office culture works. Some things are true but not said out loud. Crix's body flickered. This is the most illogical thing I have encountered yet. Over the next few days, Crix studied the office carefully. It watched people interact. It analyzed coffee break conversations. It examined the unwritten rules of workplace behavior. One day, it approached Taemin with a new question. Please explain the difference between coworkers, work friends, and actual friends who work together. Taemin thought for a moment. Coworkers are people you work with but do not know well. Work friends are people you are friendly with at the office but do not see outside of work. Actual friends are people you would spend time with even if you did not work together. But Hana is your coworker. Yet you also spend personal time with her. So she is a friend? Yes, she started as a coworker and became a friend. So the categories can change? Yes. And Jiwoo is your friend. But you do not work together, correct? And Minho is your brother, but he is also a professional contact because he owns a business. Yes. Crix made a sound like breaking glass. So humans maintain multiple overlapping social circles with flexible boundaries and no clear categories. This is chaos. Welcome to humanity, Taemin said. The situation got worse when Minho visited the office. He brought his entire team for a joint meeting about a potential partnership. Dr. Sung had somehow agreed to this. Minho's company specialized in team-building events. They wanted to demonstrate their services. Trust falls, Minho announced cheerfully. Everyone pair up. Crix turned to Taemin. What is a trust fall? You fall backward and someone catches you. It is supposed to build trust. Does it work? Not really. But companies do it anyway. For the next hour, the office staff participated in various team-building activities. They played trust games. They solved puzzles together. They shared personal stories and icebreaker exercises. Crix observed everything. It took detailed notes. It measured stress levels and engagement rates. At the end, it approached Minho. I have analyzed your activities. They provide no measurable benefit to workplace productivity. Employee satisfaction shows no significant increase. Trust levels remain unchanged. Why do humans perform these rituals? Minho looked uncomfortable. Well, it is about team bonding. But the bonding does not occur, Crix said. I observed your activities. Most participants showed signs of discomfort and forced participation. This is similar to religious ritual, performed out of obligation rather than belief. Hana whispered to Taemin. The alien just destroyed your brother's entire business model. Taemin nodded. I know. That evening, Taemin found Crix in its office, staring at data screens. Are you okay? Taemin asked. I have spent weeks studying human relationships, Crix said. Friendship, romance, family, professional bonds. I have collected enormous amounts of data, and I understand nothing. That is progress, Taemin said. How is confusion progress? Because now you know that human relationships cannot be understood through data alone. They have to be experienced. Crix turned all 7 eyes toward Taemin. I will file my report with the Galactic Council. They need to know about humanity's social chaos. What will you tell them? The truth. That humans form bonds based on emotion rather than logic, that your social structures are inefficient but meaningful, that you value connection over efficiency, and that this makes you fundamentally different from every other species in the Federation. Is that good or bad? Taemin asked. I do not know, Crick said, but it will certainly be interesting. The next morning, Taemin received an urgent message. The Galactic Council wanted to discuss Crick's report. They had concerns about humanity's emotional stability. They were questioning Earth's membership in the Federation. Taemin was summoned to defend his entire species. He had 3 days to prepare. 3 days to explain why humanity's chaotic emotions were not a weakness. He had no idea what he was going to say. The Galactic Council chamber was enormous. Hundreds of species filled the amphitheater, their various forms creating a living rainbow of alien biology. Taemin stood at the center feeling very small and very human. His stomach hurt. The street food from last night had been a mistake, but there was no time to worry about that now. Councillor Venth, a large Valorian with 12 eyes, spoke first. Human Representative Park Taemin. We have reviewed Observer Crick's reports on human social behavior. We have concerns. What kind of concerns? Taemin asked, trying to keep his voice steady. Your species forms emotional bonds with no logical basis. Your social structures are chaotic. Your decision-making is influenced by irrational feelings. This suggests instability. The Federation requires stable member species. Murmurs ran through the chamber. Taemin saw Crick sitting in the observer section, all 7 eyes fixed on him. Taemin pulled up his presentation. He had spent 3 days preparing slides. Charts showing human achievements. Graphs demonstrating cooperation. Data proving humanity's value. He started his presentation. He talked about human history, scientific discoveries, cultural achievements. He showed how emotional bonds helped humans survive and thrive, but halfway through he stopped. The council members looked bored. Some were clearly not paying attention. His carefully prepared arguments were not working. Taemin closed his presentation. You want to know the truth about humans? He said. Fine, I will tell you the truth. The chamber became quiet. Everyone was listening now. Human relationships are messy. They are complicated. They do not follow rules or equations. We make friends for no logical reason. We fall in love even when it is inconvenient. We maintain family bonds that sometimes hurt us. We keep working with people who annoy us. He took a breath. And yes, this is chaotic. Yes, it is inefficient. Yes, sometimes we make terrible decisions because our emotions cloud our judgment. But this is also what makes us human. We do not love people because it is logical. We love them because it makes life worth living. Councillor Venth leaned forward. You are arguing that emotional chaos is a strength? I am saying that emotions give us something you do not have. Motivation beyond logic, bonds beyond benefit. We do things for each other that make no sense on paper. We sacrifice for people we love. We create art and music and stories about feelings. We build entire societies around the idea that every person matters, not because they are useful, but because they are human. The chamber was silent. Taemin continued. You can calculate the most efficient way to run a civilization. You can optimize every system. You can remove all the messy emotional complications. But then what do you have? A machine that runs perfectly but means nothing. Ambassador Trill appeared beside Councillor Venth. Its energy form pulsed with soft colors. The human speaks truth, Trill said. I have touched their minds. Their emotions are overwhelming, yes, but also beautiful. They feel joy and sorrow with equal intensity. They care deeply about things that do not matter logically. This is not weakness. This is what makes them unique. Then Crick stood up. It moved to the center of the chamber, standing beside Taemin. Councillor Venth, fellow council members, I wish to speak. Observer Cricks, Venth said. You filed the reports that raised these concerns. What do you have to add? Cricks's crystalline body glowed softly. I have spent considerable time studying humans. My initial conclusion was that their emotional behavior was a malfunction, a flaw in their evolution. I was wrong. The chamber erupted in surprised sounds. Wrong, Venth said. Your reports were quite clear about human chaos. The chaos is real, Crick said. But I was wrong about what it means. Humans form bonds that defy logic because logic is not the point. They make decisions based on feelings because feelings give their lives meaning. They maintain relationships that cost them resources because those relationships provide something more valuable than efficiency. Cricks turned to look at the council. We Valorians eliminated emotion 50,000 years ago. We believed it made us superior. We optimized everything, and we became empty. We have efficiency but no joy, logic but no passion, order but no love. Taemin stared at Crix. This was unexpected. A human grandmother taught me to make kimchi, Crix said. We could not communicate through language. But she showed me care and patience. She welcomed me into her family. She gave me a gift that had no logical purpose but great emotional value, and I felt something I did not have words for. The chamber was completely silent now. Humans are not confused about relationships, Crix continued. We are. We traded our emotions for efficiency, and now we observe human connection with something that might be called envy. They have what we gave away. Counselor Venth was quiet for a long moment. Then it said, "This is an unexpected perspective, Observer Crix." Before anyone could respond, there was a flash of light. A hologram appeared in the chamber. It was Taemin's grandmother. Minho's voice came through the speakers. "Sorry, I am helping grandmother video call." She wanted to say hello to Crix. His grandmother waved cheerfully and said something in Korean. She was holding a jar of kimchi. Taemin quickly translated. She says hello to the council and she hopes everyone is eating well. She brought kimchi if anyone wants to try. Chaos erupted. Several species translation systems crashed trying to process the concept of a grandmother, offering food to the Galactic Council. Counselor Venth's eyes all blinked in rapid sequence. Ambassador Trill made a sound like beautiful music. This is what humans are. They offer food to strangers. They welcome aliens into their homes. They show care without calculating benefit. This is their gift to the galaxy. Taemin tried to explain to his grandmother that she had just crashed the most important diplomatic meeting of his life, but she was already talking to several council members through the hologram, offering them kimchi recipes. Finally, Counselor Venth called for order. We will vote on humanity's continued membership in the Federation. Taemin held his breath. The vote took 5 minutes. When it was done, Counselor Venth announced the decision. The Council has decided that humanity's emotional complexity is not a weakness. It is a unique strength. However, we require all human liaisons to undergo mandatory training. The program will be titled Making Your Feelings Make Sense to Species Without Feelings. Venth turned to Taemin. You will direct this program, Liaison Officer Park Taemin. Congratulations on your promotion. Taemin's expression suggested this was not actually good news. 6 months later, everything had changed and nothing had changed. Taemin ran the liaison training program. It was exhausting. He spent his days explaining human emotions to species that had never felt them. Crix had been assigned as his assistant. It now taught classes on friendship to confused Valorians. The irony was not lost on anyone. Jiwoo and Yuna had gotten engaged. The proposal involved pizza and beer and was completely unplanned. It was very human. Minho was now selling merchandise with Crix's image. Somehow, the Valorian observer had become a celebrity. Dr. Sung was still disappointed in everyone, but now she was disappointed on a galactic scale. Hana was documenting everything for her research project, which had become her doctoral thesis, and Taemin's grandmother had become an unexpected ambassador. She taught cooking classes to aliens via hologram. Her kimchi had become famous across 3 star systems. One evening, Taemin and Crix sat in the office reviewing class materials. It was quiet, peaceful. Do you understand humans now? Taemin asked. Crix's body glowed softly. No. But I have learned that understanding is not the point. Connection is. That is very wise. I learned it from your grandmother. Taemin smiled. Of course it had. His phone buzzed. It was Jiwoo. Pizza and beer at my place tonight. You in? Taemin looked at Crix. Want to come? I still cannot eat pizza or drink beer. That is not the point. Crix stood up. Then yes, I will come. They left the office together. Behind them, the stars shone through the windows. Humanity was part of something bigger now, and the galaxy was slowly learning that emotions were not weakness. They were the strongest thing humans had.